Hello, everyone. Good evening, guys. You know, on a Tuesday, it's always the busiest day of my week. 3 business reviews in one day, so that's why we're starting our stock market insights so late at night. It's already 11:35. I'm glad that you guys are still awake and you're still joining me here. Okay, so who do we have? So how's my audio so far? Let me know if audio is not good or you're having technical issues with our live, okay? So, hi Kim. Your request is Dito, Nickel, Fruit, Sun, and Mac. Definitely, let's go ahead and dive into that. And we have ROC from Jonil. Okay, let me just copy this. Okay, Dito, Nickel, Fruit, Sun, and Mac. ROC for Jonil. Hi, Marco. Hello. Mustapo Ali, Pure Gold. MBT, fmetf. Geraldo, good evening, Miss JD. Here's my request. Meralco, FPH, SPC, Cebu, SM, CHIB. Okay. And what about PJ? So of course we would always start with PSEI and then we talk about the other stocks. So tell Ali. So Ali's already there. Okay, thank you in advance. Alright, so Wakato said, why was last night's episode so quick? I was experiencing some technical issues and that's why it was shortened. Okay, but I'm glad that you're back. You didn't leave me tonight. Okay, nice to have a lot of companions while we're studying. Okay. Good evening, Miss JD from Gibson. Euro, Ma, IDC, Tech. Okay, let's start with this. We'll continue with reading your comments for the succeeding ones. But in the meantime, let us jump right ahead and talk about our stocks. I try my best not to be late, but in today's session, I was late like what, 4 minutes? My bad. Let me go ahead and do this. I want to change the color because I was reviewing our work yesterday and the lines are not good. They're not that clear. Okay, let's do this. And then okay, we want to make sure everything's clear, right? And then the red line, I think red line is okay, but what about this one? We change. Okay, right, and then this settings, orange. Okay, I think that should already be good. It should look clearer now. Yeah, it should be clearer now. Right, so how does our PSEI look like in today's market? Okay, so we were a bit scared yesterday and we thought that it might continue to go down. That's why we plotted our support right at this level. However, we managed to give a bounce today, and I would have to say with this formation of the candlestick right now, we're looking at some more possibly some more movements to the upside. So the price just revisited and established that support, so most likely we will have something like this. So in the next days we might challenge this resistance area, the upper Bollinger Band, that could act as your resistance level as well. So we're looking at the nearest resistance at this point would be here. Somehow we have partially broken our MA20 line. That could also be a resistance if we're moving below that line, but looking at half of the candlestick now above that line, so I'm feeling that we might have some more movements to the upside there. Now let me just add our RSI here. Okay, so this is our RSI. Alright. Okay, so let's check out the other stocks. Dito. Okay. So Dito has revisited our MA20 line. Your MA20 line is currently above your MA50. Your red line here is an MA50 line. And I think this is a healthier looking stock at this point because while there was a bounce, it retraced, it rested. So that means gradually we will also potentially going to start moving to the upside. I feel that it has at the moment bounced at the MA20 line, and we're still not at the overbought level. So I think it will, in case it might even reach a little farther down around 1.93 level. So this is what we are expecting to see. Okay. Some more movements to the upside. If you're able to enter at 1.93, that would be a much better position. You can haggle a little bit more. And overall, you're still at a very cheap level for the stock. There. Okay. Again, reminding everyone that you have to also check out the fundamentals of the stock, because sometimes your technical analysis would look attractive. However, if the fundamentals are not that, the fundamental of the stock is not that good, then chances are some bounces will not be sustained. But if you believe in the stock, go for it. This is already at a good level, a cheaper level compared to, of course, previously it even reached as high as 7 pesos. For nickel, it revisited your support level. So we said, if I'm not mistaken, we said yesterday that this would continue to move up. However, the way it moved up earlier today, there was a gap up, right? Start priced at this level, that means there was a gap. And so what happened was, following the concept, when there is a gap up, it will revisit the price to fill the gap. But at the moment, it even reached as low as your MA20 area. So I'm thinking, hold on, it will most likely stabilize at the MA20 line, creating a more solid support in this area before it goes up again. So let me plot our support area, of course, at the MA20 line, which is around 1.63 level. Okay. What about fruit? Fruit, okay. So for fruit, this is the support area that we see, and it might also revisit that line. So we are currently showing some difficulty breaking your MA50 right here. So it might do something like this. Okay, so try to do that. Revisit here, could be a few movements there, and then continue to bounce. Right now we're seeing 1.34 as our area of support. Do you see this? For several times that acted as your support area, which was previously your resistance. So put a marker on 1.34 and see the price action around that time. Okay. Then to continue, let's talk about sun. Okay, sun. Disregarding the red line, that being MA50, just focus your attention on the Bollinger Band, right? We currently have a constricted Bollinger Band. And as I shared to you previously, when there is a constricted Bollinger Band, you know what's going to happen next, right? Massive movement. This one is a little bit constricted, but this is more constricted. This one too is a constricted Bollinger Band, and most of the time when there isn't much volume, your constricted Bollinger Band could run in that range or move in that range for quite some time. So what we're waiting for this stock is to really gather that volume that we need, more trades perhaps, so we can continue to move the needle and move the price higher. What's good about the situation here right now is that we're currently moving above the MA20 line, so the sentiment is more on the upside. But the moment that MA20 line gets broken, then that's not a good story. And we don't want to happen that while the Bollinger Band is constricted, because you know what will happen next, right? Once a trigger on the lower Bollinger Band is made, more declines will happen, like this one. It started with one trigger at the lower Bollinger Band, then there's a significant drop. Okay. One trigger at the upper Bollinger Band, significant increase. So that's something we need to also closely monitor in this situation. We are going to use the MA20 line as our running support here. So let's observe the price action around that line. MAC. Oh, another constricted Bollinger Band here, guys. So this you have to carefully observe. But what's nice here is that starting to show some volume in terms of trade count here. And we're also moving up here at the upper Bollinger Band. RSI also looking healthy. So we'll use our MA20 line as our support here. 4.57 level. Alright. There's a 3.51 increase. Constricted Bollinger Band. Okay, we're waiting for it to start moving the curve to the upside. You know, when your MA20 line also starts to point its direction upwards, and chances are it will move to the upside as well. RLC. Yeah, RLC also showing the same movement. We're sitting at the MA20 line. Each time it tries to touch the MA20 area, there's a slight movement to the upside. So we're thinking it might continue to move up. Okay, just use 14.95 as your support. Currently, overall, you can even do like this, guys. Create a triangle. You can create something like this. To see. Okay, tomorrow could be a make or break day for this stock. If you have a candlestick that will start much higher than the upper yellow line there, then that means you might have some more bullish actions. If it breaks your lower line and starts to conservatively for us starts lower than 14.95, then more declines will potentially happen, and the next drop would be around this area, 13.78, because you had some consolidation that happened at the 13.78 area around the months of April, first second week of April here. Let me read your messages. Okay, nice. Sorry, was absent past few days, Z. Don't worry about that. But I hope you were also reviewing our previous videos. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be on the live if your schedule does not allow. Sorry, I forgot Cosco, GMA7, and SEC from Geraldo. Okay, let me include that. Cosco, GMA7, SEC. Thank you, Marco, for confirming. Audio is perfect. Beautiful. Thank you. How are you to find out? What's your question? Ray, what's your question? How are you to find out? Can you please expound on that statement? Which part are you referring to? Clarice Tamayo, good evening. Is this your first time here? We're doing this every day, by the way, guys. For the first timers, we are doing a group study, okay? I may know a little more, but always consider that this is a group study. Any one of you guys who have information, feel free to drop a comment and share it to everyone so we can all learn from one another. This is Maria again. Clarice Tamayo is Maria. Okay, URC is now spiking to 123. Thanks to your guide, I had entry to 117. Good job to you, girl. So I'm excited to talk about that. Let me add your URC. I think you're how many percent is that from 117? Anyway, I will. So have I missed anything? So I have GMA7, SEC, and URC. Lester said hi. Kim Camacho, thanks for helping us study and analyze on our own. Very good. Right. Okay, let's continue. I've added some more on our list. And let us see. So we have RLC, and then the next one, Ali. Oh, nice bounce for Ali. This could be a confirmation. You know, this candlestick is what? I always forget. Hammer candlestick. Let me see. Yeah, that is a hammer. Okay? So this kind of candlestick is a hammer. When this comes out at the support level, then that is a bullish. Hold on. This is a hammer. When this comes out at the support level, then that is a bullish pattern. But the same looking candlestick is now called a hanging man when this comes out at the resistance area. Okay, always remember that. So this is closely similarly looking candlestick. So we actually had a slight hint from yesterday. So this is a bounce. We're looking at some more movements to the upside, but of course I would always, as you notice, I would always still plot our support at this area when because we know that some people might be taking profit. So just at any time within the day, price level hits this area, then that could be a good entry price. Anywhere between 29.13 and 30.25, that would be already a good entry price. The nearest area where it could demonstrate some challenges would be your MA20 line, because we all know when we are moving below the MA20 level, right? Remember that. And the moment it gets near your MA20 line, that could also act as your resistance. Same is true with your MA50. And pure gold, let us see. This has been retracing for several days. Okay, looking at pure gold, guys, we are just moving steadily in the resistance area. So two things. First reason why we're moving in that state is that more people are trying to make an attempt to break that, but for the past how many days here, we're showing very minimal movement. So only a few people are wanting to do that, and most likely some of them might give in and will experience a decline. Considering that while we were moving flat line here, first time it touches that, actually several times, and then you observe your RSI, your momentum is starting to decline. So I really feel any moment from now there will be a retracement that will happen. First area to challenge would be as a possible area of bounce could be in this area, this level. You can also do a Fibonacci retracement, you know that, right? And you go if you use the wick here, you also use the wick in this level. Okay, in the Fibonacci retracement, the area for possible bounce is here. So let me just remove this. So if this line, remove that, okay? The first area where it could potentially bounce will be your MA20 level. Okay, so this is the yellow line here is the MA20. It stopped right at the 0.236 area. So if it breaks, it will revisit that line, right? And then the next possible area would be this. So your call, are you willing to wait for it to drop right here or drop right here? So far, based on what I see, in some occasions, some stocks are okay to, would recommend to wait around 0.50 or 0.618. However, given that this is the direction of your MA20, I don't feel good when an MA20 line is broken. So we can just give ourselves, some leeway and watch if it will bounce at the MA20 line. Okay, so this is it, right? MA20 level is the next area of bounce. All right, and MBT. What's wrong with MBT? So slow. Let's use this as our support. I feel that it will even revisit that line, 36.12 area. Okay, and then we have to observe what happens around that level when it touches that. This line over here has to be on a continuous uptrend because that serves as your momentum. And we have, a 1 peso and a few cents to check out. So your call, if you're a long-term investor, you're already at a very, very attractive state. Position traders and investors would find this setup already as an attractive one. But position traders would normally wait for a confirmation of a bounce. For instance, this one, we wait for a green candlestick that comes out very near your support level. fmetf. Oh, bounce as well. Nice bounce. I treat this as a bounce area already. It's an engulfing candlestick, green engulfing candlestick. There you go. And of course, we're still plotting it at the 82.66 because we know people might take profit. Hold on. 82.66. Okay. So promising movements ahead of us for fmetf. We just need to break that MA20 line because, who knows, people might take profit and bring it back here. But let's say tomorrow we start crossing that line, then very promising setup. What could be your possible profit taking area there? Well, if you're okay with a 6.7 or 7% increase, then go for it. Although I see this as your nearest resistance, right? But if there is no sign of weakness manifesting here in this level, then we might even break that line. So just see the price movement as soon as we get near your 90 peso area. Morocco. Finally. So this looks promising to me. Your MA20 line started to cross your MA50 line. So that's also a good sign. And we're just sitting right at the support level for this stock. This has been on a decline. We've been monitoring this as well. And we started moving above the MA20 line actually. And this could be a higher low, right? This is your low. It moved up, and then when it bounced, when it retraced, the dip in terms of price is much lower, or not that significant drop anymore compared to this. So this is a higher low. In other words, we might see a higher high next. So you can do this if you like. Okay, use that line because we're moving in an uptrend. So your support could also move, and your resistance could also move in an upward direction too. Okay, just do this. Remove this so that it's not going to be very confusing. Okay, so okay, there you go. Maybe this, yun. There you have it. Okay, so this might move up and will challenge this level. So each time it reaches your resistance area, try to observe, do you see any signs of weakness there? You can use this as your key areas to enter at. There. Okay. But definitely I see more upward direction for Meralco. FPH. Nice jump as well. This is a bounce. Okay. So previously this was a support, but there was a breakdown in the price. But we moved up and recovered. Now it's just trying to create a stabilization, brand new support in this level that I see, and hopefully we are able to sustain that tomorrow, because this is already a green engulfing candlestick. That should already be our confirmation, and from 54.82 to 56 would already be for me a good entry price. That's really close to the support level that we have plotted right there. SPC. SPC, I'd be very careful. We're moving below the MA20 line, and we ended with a red candlestick. You know, it will challenge your next support right here. But consider that we are outside of the Bollinger Band if that happens. So I'm 50-50 on what I'm seeing right now. We could bounce in that area, but I feel that, see this, trades are low. We might see some triggers going downwards. So some areas to monitor would be 7.49 when it drops, because there was a bounce that happened here, and there's also a stabilization that happened here. I mean, it created a support at that area, and previously it was your resistance. So I might see some significant actions when the price reaches 750 level. Cebu Pacific. Okay, Cebu Pacific starting to trigger a movement to the upside, and hopefully, because you know, as you see right here, we're starting to trigger and break your MA20 level. All right, so where do we plot our support? Here. So it's just a matter of asking yourself, do you still find this price level attractive or cheap, which is around 3.89% away from our support level? Some people are already okay with 2% away from our support area, and then they give themselves provision. They provision a 5% as a margin of error, wherein when they enter, for example, in 48.37. Okay, so this is how they plot it. 48.37, and then they put a stop loss level at the 45.92. Okay, so that is why we would always recommend you enter at a level as near as you can to the support, because you know that a support is an area of bounce. So the chances of your stop loss level being hit would be slim. We do not put our stop loss at the exact support level. No, because there's still higher probability that it will be reached. you always give provision, some wiggle room below the support level, so that the chances of it being hit is not that much. So the nearer you are to the support area when you enter it, then of course your potential loss in terms of risk to reward would be smaller. Make sense? So far, this is the 47.05 or 47 would be our support level. So try to haggle as near as you can at the support area. If you feel that people will take profit and it will revisit that, but if you feel that it will really continue moving up, considering that it has started to break the MA20 line, then go for it. Okay, I'm saying go for it because I don't really know your profile, if you're an investor or a position trader, and your risk to reward or your risk tolerance. Okay. Right, but overall we still feel that it might continue to move up to this point, which is your nearest resistance at the moment. And what about, so let me read through your messages. Romil said URC. Yep. Hi, Miss JD, Annie, San. Let me just go through the list. Done checking out Sun. Annie, not yet. Ma is there. IDC is there. FB, not yet. Paul, good evening. Clara is requesting for ICT URC. ICT. Okay, let me add that. URC is already there. mwide. AP. Hello, Miss JD. RLC is already there. Okay. And I was even, Conrad said, and I was even later done with ICT, ma'am. Not yet. I'll include that. FNI from Kim. Okay. Let us continue. Cebu Pacific. Next is SM and CHIB. SM. SM created a bounce. This is a bounce area, which is good. This stock has given us a chance to haggle for a few more pesos, for a few pesos down, or for a few pesos. There you go. And this for me is already a bounce, so I think it will continue to move up. People are already starting to invest and get in the stock. So the moment this orange line start to cross that red line, so that is going to be a good news. Okay, let's use 780 as our support. CHIB, and next is TEL. CHIB, oh, this is just flatlining, not much of a movement. 69 trades. If there will be no movement in the volume, it will take some time before this stock will recover. I don't know your entry price here, but so far it's just doing sideways, and what we need is a spike in the volume, pairing it with a green candlestick, then we can say it is going to recover now. What's critical here is that we're very near our support area, and one red candlestick can break that and can trigger some more movements downwards, which can even reach up to the 18.40 level. Okay, so just watch the action there. TEL. What happened to TEL? Oh no. So I'm trying to recall what happened yesterday, but I think we also talked about people taking profit, and that the fact that this is a bearish candlestick, right? So this becomes a shooting star or a hanging man. No, let me go back. Shooting star. Yeah, it is a shooting star. This is a shooting star, even though that is a red. I mean, the color is green. It is still showing the same meaning. Okay? So if that comes out at the resistance area, then the next action is going to be a decline. And we are correct here, and it might revisit this level. All right. We have to watch out and see what movements we have around 117 when the price hits that level. Euro. What do we see in Euro? It's a bounce for Euro. Okay. Promising movements ahead of us. There's foreign buying that happened here. At the same time, there's a significant action here. So we were stabilizing in this level and then we bounced. So I feel that we will have more movements on the upside in the coming days for Euro. 2.68 being our support area. Next is MA, IDC and Tech. Okay, wow. So we ended outside of the upper Bollinger Band, but that's a significant increase. I feel that there could be some more movements to the upside if we are able to start at a much higher than 2.90, then we can say there will be a breakout play in this case. Okay, so the qualifier at this point is at any time 290 is broken and we start much higher than that, then we will most likely have something like this. Okay, increase, I don't know how high, but it will create a dip and revisit and stabilize a support at your previous resistance. Now if that gets broken, let's say people would take profit. That's a 19% increase in just one day. And in the Philippine market, it's already a significant increase. If they take profit, then that would simply mean it is currently respecting your resistance and will potentially go back to around this level. Yes, okay? That could be the next movement. Two things. So again, wait for a 290 level to be broken and more actions to the upside, then we can say we have a breakout play. Otherwise, if weakness happens, then it might go down to as low as 1.90. IDC has also experienced a good promising recovery. This is a bounce, and currently this roadblock here, which is your MA50, is trying to block the movements to the upside. But just in case we start moving higher than 2.24, let's say we start that price and move much higher than that, then we can have we can have more movements to the upside. This line here is a roadblocker, okay? But then sometimes we also break that, and once we do, then we have more actions to the upside. Promising, because we're at a very cheap level right now. What about Tech? Tech also bounced. Yeah, we might have more movements to the upside, although your nearest resistance is here at the moment. Actually a little higher, there you go, because there was a support build-up in this area. Okay, there was slightly lower than that line, but we're considering that as our possible resistance. So observe if there will be weakness right at this point, but then if the price gives you a chance at 8.18, just do a range trading at the moment. Okay, but wow, that's already a 19, almost 20% possible gain if you manage to enter at 8.18. You know what? I thought it's just very near, but when you really measure it, it's uh, surprisingly at a significant price level. Okay, nice. Thank you, Charleston, for liking our Instagrams. By the way, if you guys have not liked our video for tonight, would really be great if you can also smash that like button, and that way people will start noticing our videos here, and we can have more joiners every night. Costco, okay? Costco, GMA7, and SEC for next stocks. Okay, Costco, 82 trades, so also need more volume to push the price higher. But I feel that anywhere from 4.76 to 4.93 would already be good entry price for position traders and investors here. Um, we're still very near your support area. Okay, so this is a bounce. I consider this a bounce. Try to negotiate at least anywhere from this range. Okay, GMA7. Okay, not a good story for GMA with 45 trades. Also, we broke that support, guys. This used to be a support level for the past 2 days. The first day it was triggered. Half of the candlestick was facing or ending. Yeah, half of the candlestick is already on a bearish movement. And then today, with the entire candlestick ending much lower than the support area, then I feel that we might have some more declines in the coming days. And 4.69 for me is an area. 4.65 is an area to watch out. Once we reach that level, we'll check again and find out if we can potentially have some promising actions there. But for now, I feel that more bearish movements might come our way. SEC. SEC. Okay, this is. So there has been a significant increase, and this is what I was talking about. We know that it's a bounce, but people sometimes take profit, and will give you a chance back at the support area. So let's find out if this will sustain. I see 11.71 as our support level. URC, let us see. Maria entered at 117, right? Okay, so what we're about to face here is, of course, we have to beat that MA50 line. Okay, so our best course of action is, our qualifier at this point is we need to start a price much higher than your MA50 line for us to say that we have a breakout play, short-term breakout play. And the next possible resistance that it will revisit would be your 135. Okay, so very near this line. You also had a support right at this level. Also this level. So this, I think, is going to be a significant area to watch out for, because the area used to be a support and previous resistance at the same time. So if we manage to start higher than 123 by tomorrow, then the next possible stop would be 135.91. Let us assume, okay? Let us assume that you're able to reach up to that part, and that's gonna be a 15.7 increase. Promising. Okay. Right, let me just, where did I leave off? Okay, so I stopped at FNI from Kim, nickel, and Mac. Mac, I already talked about it. Want your insights with SSI. PHA and bcor. Okay. Planning to cut my losses with MPI tomorrow. It's sideways for many days now. For MPI. Let me also check MPI. Yep. EI. I'm not here yet. Ray Joseph. It's a joke. Let me backtrack your message. I can't recall. How are you to find out? Anyway, let's check that later. Darius, Miss JD, may Investa group ka rin po. I really wanted to create one. You know what? It's nice to have a small community, but I just want to make sure if I start something, I'm able to commit to. And right now, I just have so many things in my day job, but definitely that's part of the plan. I just need to put a timeline to my plan. Creating a group. URC, okay. Right, let's continue, guys. Next would be Annie, FBICT, okay? Annie. So far, guys, do you see any improvement in your technical analysis? Someday, I want, you know what I want to see someday? One of you guys will also be doing the same. You replicate what you have gotten here, and who knows, one day you will have also your own YouTube channel doing this. I'd love to, see that happen someday. Okay. So this stock has given us a bearish candlestick. This green candlestick that happened last the 27th for me is already a bearish. It was confirmed in today's candlestick. So I feel that it will revisit, not that far though, but will rest and revisit your 750 area before it takes off again. That's what I see at the moment. And FB, I feel that FB is trying to trigger some bounce here. We've been doing sideways. You know why I said that it might give us some more movements to the upside? Look at your volume. When this thing happens, no volume at all, and then a significant increase in the volume, there's something good that will happen next. Look at this. Okay, this candlestick out of nowhere. Okay, very flat. While on a decline, alright, just flatlining your volume right here, then all of a sudden significant increase, then the next boom increase, right? So I'm thinking we might also experience the same trend here. I want to see something. What about this one? Flat, flat. All of a sudden, there's an increase in the price. Hi. Okay, right over here, there's an increase in the price, but it actually retraced a bit just to stabilize the support, and then more movements to the upside. Okay, actually, I think most people were able to buy at this level with that increase in price. People managed to catch it at the 99 point level, 99 peso area. The next movements to the upside. Okay, see that. So, following the same methodology, significant increase in the volume could mean something good that will happen, especially when it creates a green candlestick. And obviously, very obvious as well, because in this area we were trying to stabilize moving sideways. So this, I feel, It's just creating a stronger support in this range before it moves up. ICT. Okay, nice one. I feel that this will trigger more actions to the upside. This used to be your resistance before, and then we're starting to trigger that. Your next area to conquer here would be this MA50 line. But I feel that if we start, let's say, around 89 and move up much higher, or even at the same level tomorrow, 88, and move much higher than that, then we can see more upward movements here. 88. Yeah, we cannot really rely on this much. What's important is for you to monitor this 15 minutes before the start of market day. Mwide. Mwide just also stabilizing, no significant movements yet, so I don't feel any any bounce happening soon. But I found something, guys. This one, we're revisiting this level, right? We're currently actually sitting at that area, and your RSI has already given us some advanced signals that it is going to change its direction, creating a bounce possibly. So 6.13 for me is our support level at the moment. AP. Let me see if this is a okay. Let's plot. Do we call this an ascending triangle, right? Looks like an ascending triangle. So your condition here is that it has to break the upper line here, which is currently acting as your resistance. Once we start our candlestick higher than that and we move to the upside, then we have a breakout lay that will potentially happen here. Breakout of the ascending triangle. So if the action happens on the flip side, wherein we start breaking the lower line here, then you have some more declines. FNI. So this was, and I won't be surprised when we have something like this. It sometimes revisits your support area. So this was a 22% increase. I can't remember if we covered this last night. So people just took profit, guys. You know, a 22% increase is already a significant increase, especially in today's in the current condition of the market. People lock in profit really early. So it just stopped right at the MA50 line. So I would say that it might create a support in this range. I'd like to plot it at this area because I see your resistance formed at this level. It could also stop at the exact line where your MA50 is at the moment. So since it's an area, it could be slightly higher or slightly lower. But this is the range where it will potentially stabilize and create a support. Alright, so how's everyone so far? Hammer. AGI and wlcon po from Jeremiah. AGI. Have I talked about it? Not yet. Okay, let me add that. And wlcon. For you guys, when you are in a stock that is dropping in price, do you leave for a moment or do you buy more of the stock? My take is when I know it's going down and I see the good fundamentals of the stock, I have to make sure that I leave early and then I catch it at a next possible support where it will potentially drop and make a bounce. So if I'm able to watch the market, so I cut the loss early and then enter at that. However, since let's say, because I to be honest, I have, for example, GFC. I entered at around 223 and I was not able to watch the market because I work full time in the morning, and I know to begin with that whatever happens, I'm in JFC for long term. So what I did, I didn't do anything because I was not able to cut my loss early. But I'm just finding an entry price to add more volume because I know this is for long term, and the moment I see an opportunity where I could enter at a much cheaper price, I'd like to grab that. So I'm just looking for a good entry price, and of course I'm waiting for my money during the payday to add more funds. So that's my 2 cents. STI and FLI, ma'am. This is from Paul. All right. Let us continue. After FNI, nikl. I wanted to read all of your messages, but I have to also strike a balance between the review and the chit chat. Oh, we already talked about nikl. Yeah, that's the second stock we reviewed. So the line that you see here is the area of support that we have plotted. It might create some stabilization and some bounce at that area, but that is currently sitting at the support. What about SSI? Okay, SSI also just, so I see a volume pickup here. So you're very near a support. We actually have a bounce already, and the 1.15 is the bounce that we see. I feel that we might see some more movements to the upside, but just in case, I just feel that people might also still stabilize and move sideways within this range, giving you a chance at 1.15. PHA. Oh, PHA, it's a second day confirming the weakness. Let me plot your Fibonacci. Okay, so first line here has been broken. So your next possible area of bounce is already at the 0.2415. Okay, let's see if it will create that. So if you're going to ask me now, I see some more declines. This could just happen in one day, right? And see if it will really confirm 1 to 2 days, if it will confirm a bounce. A green candlestick bouncing at this level would be a good confirmation. Otherwise, we might have to catch it from here up to here. Lowest possible area is the 0.618. Don't negotiate up to this level because that would already be technically a decline. Most likely when it breaks your 0.618, you have more triggers going down. bcor, and next would be MPI. bcor still sideways. You're currently sitting at the MA20 line. If that gets broken, next support would be 2.13, but currently you're sitting at a support at the MA20 line, and you just check if a green candlestick might be formed tomorrow. This is 2 days straight of a decline, which is, let us say, from this point, that's already a 16% drop. So watch and see if this gets broken. Next area to check would be 2.11. No volume as well. MPI. Naku, MPI, what are you doing? 250. It might continue to trigger more downward movements here around 2.39, or it could be up to here. 2.33. That is going to create a what? Triple bottom. First bottom, second bottom over here, which is slightly higher than your first bottom. So when it touches this, your condition is it has to consistently be like this, showing an upward movement in your RSI. Okay, let us see. I feel that it will revisit 2.33. EEI. EEI has a good bounce. This is a bounce for EEI, but people took profit right away, so we really cannot tell if this is a rejection at the MA20 line. You see this line? It just stopped right there. So we have to see if it will continue to move up and cross your MA20 level. So that's a make or break day tomorrow. Otherwise, it might go back to your previous support, which is 5.03 at the moment. AGI. Don't feel good with AGI actually. Even though it's just flatlining here, I feel that it might start to experience breakdown in price. I hope I can be wrong. There you go. 5.68 is the next support that we feel is going to be revisited in the coming days. 346, 476, the 6.25. Okay, I hope this is really going to materialize tomorrow, because you have more people buying than selling. Okay, so let's see if it will create a candlestick, a green candlestick in that area. Okay, but my thoughts are for the price level to revisit 5.68. That's my conservative thinking. wlcon. Not that. Over here. Okay, wlcon. Is this even real? This was on a steady climb previously. For how many? 2 years straight. But yeah, the market has given us an opportunity to get this at a much lower price. 13.50 is our support level, so I feel that it might even touch that at one point. But actually, this is a, this could be a trigger of a possible bounce as well. But the next candlestick is also a bearish candlestick. So let's just see the 13.50, guys. Okay, done. 13.65. That's the support that we see at the moment. So how's everyone so far? Thanks for sticking around. We have two more, STI and FLI. Let me check the others. Tel, PJ, okay, PXP for Kim. Tel, I'm done. AC, Dito, I'm also done discussing PJ. PHA, I have not. ATN, not yet. Mac, done. EEI, done. Christian, if tapos na na-discuss iba dyan, kahit wag na ulitin. Medyo late kasi. That's fine. MPI, also done. You can feel free, guys, to revisit the video. I also put the sequence of the stocks we've reviewed, so you can even skip that and move forward to the area where you want to just listen. Tofi said, oh, by the way, Carlos said MPI and Meg, so let me put in Meg. 30 to 40% paper loss on some of my blue chips that I have been holding for years now. What can you recommend? Average down, cut loss, or hold? Blue chip companies. For me, the fact that you entered in the blue chip company, I would assume that you studied the fundamentals, you believe in it, and you mentioned that it was there wasn't any mention of long term. So the first question I'd like to pose to you, Tofi, is: are you there as a long term investor? Because if you are, this is a great opportunity for you to add more volume, bringing your average down, because it defeats the purpose if you're an investor and then you cut loss when you know that you'll be holding on to it anyway for long term. So just buy more volume. That's why the reason why we are also studying this is, even if you're into long term investing, it would also do a payoff if you enter at a much better entry price at a support level, so that you can maximize your potential profit. But I don't know how long have you been holding on to these stocks. It's just that I think everyone has really been affected with the sudden decline in the price because of the pandemic. So just hang in there. Once this is over, everything can potentially go back to normal. And if you have extra funds, buy some more. That's just me, and you can have others might have a different perspective over things. Okay. I remit Maria. I've seen your message yesterday. I'm just not sure what is the stock code of iRemit. Oh, there, letter I. My goodness, sorry about that. Let me check. Okay. All right, let's continue. PX wlcon is done. STI. STI trying to create that bounce, but yeah, looks like we are now slowly creating that uh, bounce we're looking for. Let me put this here. Weekly. Now this is for me a bit difficult to read because on a weekly chart, technically this was your support, but with the significant drop that happened the previous week, so I feel that there will be more declines. We're On the other hand, we're already here at the oversold area, but I don't see any pattern yet forming that we are going to change our direction. So the week is too early. It's too early in the week to really confirm that it is going to create that bounce. Maybe what we can do here is wait for another green candlestick, um, securing another lift in price for us to say that we have really managed to bounce already. So I'd like to put in our support at the 0.3390. That is our support area. Okay. FLI. Sideways. It is doing sideways. And this is the support 0.90 level for our FLI. Okay. And PXP and PHA. PXP also sitting at a support. So just monitor this. We might have a successful bounce in tomorrow's market. MA20 is our support at the moment. PHA. Oh, we're done. Okay, so we're seeing a possible bounce. So these are the areas. Okay, you know that 0.2415, 0.50 level. So you have this key areas to monitor. Okay, it broke the first line, so the next area to watch and see is the 0.382, which is at the 0.2415 level. ATN, ATN might, it might trigger some more sideways movement here. This is our support. The problem with this stock is there's really no volume at the moment, so it might take some time before we can see recovery here. But at least we're now starting to move above your MA20 line. Meg, and the last stock we're going to review for tonight would be I. Okay, Meg, we crossed the MA20 line downward, so I think we might see some more declines here. Where could it possibly stop? Okay, it might revisit. This is what I see. Okay, I feel that we might revisit this double bottom. It will potentially create a double bottom for for Meg at 2.07. Note that we are in a weekly chart, so it gives me a much clearer picture, clearer outlook on a much longer time frame. Your daily, we can have some lift in price, minimal movements, but it might revisit 2.07. Okay, there's really not much volume here. I think so. There's really no true measure yet that this is going to change its direction. It actually respected your MA20 line, that the moment it reached the price at that level, then it dropped. So it moves up there, but it goes down each time it touches that. It's not successful in breaking it. If you're on negative, or if you're negative by less than 5% or 6%, if you're able to tolerate the most 10% loss, practice cutting your losses early and find a different stock, because I feel that it will really take some time for this to kick off. On a weekly chart, we're already moving within your support level, very near your support area. So around 0.88, that's the area I see. Okay, that's for iRemit. Okay, what about any comments from the rest? Hi. Oops. Wow, I didn't realize our messages are too long. However, guys, it's past 12 o'clock. I'll read your comments. I love reading your comments, guys. And but don't worry, we have tomorrow. Even though I'm so busy in the morning, I still want to find time. It is a commitment to myself and to you guys. We are forming a skill. Always remember that we are on our way. This is a journey, and someday we will be better at this. Just hang in there, be consistent, join me every night. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe and click the notification bell, so each time I go live, you are also notified. And let's form this little community of ours. In the meantime, guys, you have a good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining me. Okay, bye-bye for now.